Hi, I'm Chip Rowan with the Armstrong Neighborhood Channel, and for this episode of In the Know, we are here at the Somerset Trust Company at their train station branch in Connellsville, and with me is Jessica Schomer and John Malone. Good to have you here and good to be with you.
Thank you, Chip.
Thank you.
This building is beautiful.
Thank you. It's a lot of history, National Historic Landmark,
Yeah.
built in 1911, and everything was restored to its original ambiance, and it's really a great place to work.
Yeah, I could see that. You have an event coming up here, and you want to tell our viewers about your car cruise?
Sure. We are having a car cruise on Tuesday, June 28th. Registration is preferred prior to that to guarantee that everybody gets a t-shirt. We're going to probably start lining cars up around 4:30, but the event actually starts at 6. We're going to have our prize wheel again. I'm working on a Plinko board. We do have a new thing with our bank, so we'll have that game involved. We'll have some prizes in that end. We're having Sparks Catering provide the food again, as they have done in the past, and we'll have some other food surprises as well. But yeah, we have so far about 50 cars registered already.
That's wonderful.
Which is far more than we ever had before at this time. The first year we did this was quite unique. And why did we do it? Our chairman of the board, Henry Cook, announced they were going to restore this train station because the branch is next door. And he said, I want you to get a few people to come around and we'll have a press conference. And he said, you can get some food or whatever, but have them gather around the bank. And I said, what do you want me to do? Use your imagination. So I said, let's do a car cruise. And we thought if we got 10 or 15 cars, that would be fine. So the morning of the event, we had 15 registered. It was a day like today. The sun came out. It got real nice, and we ended up having about 75 cars.
Wow.
And the Cook family was so impressed with it that they said, this is going to be an annual event. Let's do it. Have fun with it. And so I think at the height, we had over 150 cars here.
Wow. This is the 6th year for the car
It's the
cruise.
6th year.
Yeah.
Sixth year.
Yeah.
And it just came, the first one we did in about 2 weeks' time. And
Very quick.
Yeah, you remember that well.
I do.
So,
Yes.
but Jessica's on cruise control and putting this thing together.
Well, it is nice after you do them while you kind of know what you need to do.
It's like I want to recreate the wheel, so it's just basically its own separate entity that works on its own. I just kind of make sure everything, the wheel is still turning.
It is not broke, so don't try and fix it.
I
right?
do not try to now.
Yeah. You said you have about 50 cars registered already.
Yes.
And now, is there a deadline for registration?
Not necessarily.
They'll show up.
Yeah, we get people the day of the event, and some people can't stay for the whole event, so they'll leave and somebody else comes and fills in their spot. So we'd like to be able to say we have X number of cars every year. We just can't. I tried one year to count, and I lost count because of I think that car was new that wasn't here before. So we try to, but we understand a lot of people don't want to commit to that event, and if they can come at the last minute, we're fine with that. We'll order some extra t-shirts, and that way they'll be taken care of.
But it's helpful they do register in advance. You appreciate that. And it does help you with the shirt sizes, right?
We do,
Right.
Absolutely.
So talk about the process of registering. How would someone do that?
They can call me. My number is 724-620-4158. They can also email me at jschomer@somersettrust.com. And I have a registration form I can provide them as well. Any of our branches here in town have a form that they can fill out, and they'll get that to me, and I'll take it from there.
A fee to register?
Everything is free.
I assume that. Just wanted to make
Everything
sure.
is free. No fee for the vehicle registration, no fee for the entertainment, no fee for the food, no fee for the prizes. Everything is 100% complimentary of Somerset Trust.
And so this is Somerset Trust just doing something for the community.
Yes.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Thank you for doing
Yes.
that. That's
Yes.
nice.
And what's something about it, Somerset Trust Company is considered a community bank, and they take that very seriously, and they want to give back to the community. Normally at the event, we give the city a big check, and pays for the 4th of July fireworks since it precedes.
And that's a big check if I
It's
remember
about
right.
$5,000.
That's what I thought. That's
paid
big.
for the fireworks since we've been in town.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
But Connellsville's been very, very good to Somerset Trust, and we like to give back to the community any way we can. we get involved in a lot of things.
Yeah, and you are involved in a lot of things. A lot of community things, you're
Right.
just willing to help. And usually, if something happens in the community, you'll see someone from the bank there.
When I first, came to the bank, our CEO and I had lunch, and he told me, he said, "John, you'll never see our name on a ballpark, or you'll never see our name on a major league uniform, but you will see a lot of little league uniforms with our name on it."
Yeah.
So we try to be grassroots with the communities in which we serve and be part of those communities the best we can and do it in unique ways.
Yeah.
And this became a unique way that kind of started to grow on its own. So
And cars are important to people here in Connellsville.
I never realized how many classic, antique, and even really muscle cars there are in this community. And when I started this, certain people like Bob Hodge has a transmission shop. He probably ended up getting a dozen cars for us.
Okay.
And then Scott C. came along, I believe the second year. Scott, a lot of people don't even know this, he has a online classic car sells, and he goes to Meekum and Barrett Jackson and all of them. He buys and sells classic cars, and he's got some really, really unique and beautiful vehicles, and he brings down 3 or 4 every year.
That's great.
And things you've never seen before.
Yeah,
And,
really unique
yeah.
cars. Yeah, really unique.
and Ranker Motors, they
Uh-huh.
have a couple cars they bring every year. Megan Ford brought an electric Mustang last year.
Wow. Well, over the years, you start to learn who has these cars and probably know who
Right.
to reach out to, and they know. You have it about the same time every year, I think. It's
Right.
usually
We
in
do.
June.
Last Tuesday of June.
Yeah, so people kind of get that on their calendar.
And then you guys know Paul Ruggieri, who
We do.
works for WQED.
Uh-huh.
He just made a documentary, and last week was the unveiling down in Ringgold High School. And he called me because he had attended, and he says, "I'm looking for this type of car, like a 1950 Ford. You know who has one?" And we looked, and I made a few phone calls, and we found one for him, and it was used in that movie
Wow.
for a recreation.
Yeah, that's neat.
So, but
So you become a connection for car supplier, too.
too.
That's a good thing.
So,
Now, entertainment for the car cruise. Well, you want to talk a little bit about that?
yeah, well, when we decided we're going to have some entertainment, I asked our people, I said, I'd like to get Scott Placey. He's a local guy. The town loves him. They come out in groves for him, and they said, get him. So we asked Scott, and he's done it ever since. He comes and does an acoustical couple hours and plays. For those of you who don't know who Scott is, he's the lead singer of the Clarks, very popular rock band out of Pittsburgh. But
He still
he's
considers
from
Connellsville home.
it is home, and
Yeah.
he'll sing some songs about Connellsville.
Yeah.
And
He's been great to the community, too.
Oh.
During the flood recovery, he did a big fundraiser. We raised a lot of money, somewhere over $100,000, I remember.
Mm.
He was part of that.
what's something about him singing acoustically is it's non-generational. I mean, it crosses every generation. You could be a 5-year-old and enjoy him singing, and you can be an 80-year-old. It doesn't matter. Scott appeals to everybody in Connellsville, and he's such a great draw for us, and been a good friend.
And his show's kind of conversational, too.
Exactly.
He stops, and I just enjoy hearing him talk about sometimes things locally here that gave him ideas for songs.
He talks about the bike trail, going to the river when he was a kid, swimming. The one song is about the Fayette County Fair.
I know.
He talks about,
Yeah.
he just,
Yeah, that's neat. That's a nice community addition, too. Food, you mentioned you're having food. Do you want to talk a little bit about that? You said it's free, so that's a great
Yes,
thing.
I think we're going to have hot dogs again. We're going to get
Can't
chips,
go wrong with hot dogs.
and we're working on the dessert options. So
Okay.
and we'll have bottles of water. Last year, I want to say it was close to 100 degrees. It was extremely warm.
Wow.
Beautiful day, but a little sweltering. But we made sure
a little
that
sweltering.
we had enough water to go around, and then some. So we'll definitely make sure that we have plenty of that on tap again. So
It starts at 6 o'clock.
it starts at
Is
6.
there an ending time?
when people want to leave.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's
I mean
okay.
it's usually done around 9:30. Whenever it's probably whenever Scott stops performing, kind of
Okay.
people start to disperse a little bit. But if they're sitting having a good time visiting with friends and family, we're not going to tell them to
chase them
leave.
home.
The one year, cars started to leave, and there was like a little competition of burning tires when they left here. It was hilarious.
That's fun. We should have got that on film. Talk about how logistically how it's set up and what. I know some of your neighbors help you with space. And
Yeah, it started out that we didn't need neighbors, but then as it started to grow, we needed more and more space. The city has been fantastic. Mayor Lincoln and Vern, they close off 7th Street for us now, and we utilize that. Slovak Club gives us free parking over there so people can come over. And we take basically the whole church and Valley Dairy parking lots. And so we decided to include Valley Dairy about 2 or 3 years ago, where they provide free ice cream cones.
okay.
So they bring a guy dressed as Ice Cream Joe, and you go over there, and because we know we kind of choke their business a little bit,
Right.
but actually when it's over, people go over there and
Yeah.
they have a full house
Yeah.
for a while. So they've been very good. The church has been very good. Slovak Club, the city, and even the local residents close here. They understand for 5 hours their lives are going to be disrupted,
Yeah.
but they come over
Right.
and
They enjoy it
it.
too.
Yeah,
So you line the cars up here around the train station, around the branch, over at the Valley Dairy parking lot.
Around the church.
Around the
Any
church.
space we can.
That's right. Yeah. That's a job orchestrating all that, I'm sure.
we started out the first year. We didn't know how we were going to do it. We said, we have 15 cars, we got 15 spaces, and then 50 more show up. So we
You
we
find
made
a
it work.
place for them.
Yeah, we have people here that'll park the cars, and some people have taken a liking where they bring their cars, they bring chairs, they put their hoods up, and they have even literature on their cars, and people can come by. People in this community are proud. If they own a classic car, they're very proud of them and like to
And
show
they
them
should
off.
be. So it's a lot of work. It can be a lot of expense too if someone has actually restored one.
Right. I remember one car came, they had their hood opened up, and on the hood, they had a Hot Wheels car this was a replica of it.
Wow.
And they had it sitting there. So this car was made to look like a Hot Wheels car.
Well, these cars become like their babies. I mean, they just really
Oh, yes.
take care
Right.
of them and
And
garage kept. And
we just appreciate them taking the time to come to the event, with where they're living and, the travel wise and so forth. We just appreciate them because we don't judge the cars. We don't, I'm certainly not qualified to do that. We just appreciate them. Thank you. We just appreciate them coming, giving of their time and their vehicle to use for this event. So we're really appreciative of all those that have
And
done it in the
anybody comes
past.
gets a T-shirt with the New Year logo on it, and they enjoy it. And one of our people has some unique cars. A good friend of Somerset Trust is Petey Cadera. He has 2 Woodies
okay.
that he brought down here, which are very unique, something like the Beach Boys would have.
Right.
And so he brings them down. He's proud of them, and he should be.
It should be.
But
Yeah,
they're
that's neat.
unique cars.
Yeah, and it's neat. Yeah. Now, because David will actually be sharing this on YouTube, so the audience could actually be bigger than Connellsville in this area. If you give the address for the bank, so how would if someone wants to find this event, what's the address for here?
904 West Crawford Avenue.
Yeah, in Connellsville. So that's an
Connellsville.
easy way. It's on the west side of Connellsville. It's a beautiful train station here. This building was built 1911.
1911,
Yeah.
and became part of the National Historic. It was originally a P&LE in Western Maryland railroad station for passengers. And over the years, it's taken on many different businesses, including car lots, auto parts store, and a glass business where they sold stained glass windows. And it sat vacant for a number of years when Mr. Triggs passed away from the glass business. And at the same time, Somerset Trust was deciding to move into Connellsville, and they moved into the Walmart branch, which more of a convenience type branch. And they wanted a place to put a bank, and where could it happen? And they saw this train station and fell in love with it. Although it's not the bank per se,
Right.
it's our commercial lending hub here in Connellsville, and it's been a great place for us. They restored it. Took them over 2 years. Did the roof, did everything. historically and received some tax credits to do it.
Right.
But they did it right.
Yeah.
And
Well, it's very nice, and it's raining outside today, so this is wonderful that we could be inside and out of the rain. But we're going to do some more about this train station. That would be
Welcome
great
to come anytime.
to cover that. But that's a landmark that people will know that they're here, though, when they
Right.
see the train station on the west side of Connellsville. If you don't mind, Jessica, give them the dates and times one more time,
Sure.
just so folks know.
It will be on Tuesday, June 28th. The event starts at 6. We'll have vehicles line up probably starting around 4:30. And I personally would like to thank 2 individuals that over the past couple of years have helped us. I work with them a couple of years now to get the word out. They are heavy car enthusiasts. His name is Edward Smitty Smith, and the new person, his friend, is Clyde Goodman. They picked up about 150 registration packets and
Wow.
took them to a car show a few weeks ago. And they have been extremely important to helping us get the word out to these different events. So
That's great.
I thank them very much for their support.
Yeah. Well, Jessica and John, thank you for planning the car show.
And thank you,
Yeah, you're
Armstrong,
welcome.
for all you do for
Yes,
the
thank
community.
Yeah,
you
you're
very
welcome.
much.
And I appreciate what you folks do here at Somerset Trust Company. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now you're in the know.